Caravan hookup. This one is a little bit older than the rest of the electrical installation. As we can see here, we've got 3 sockets on each side. This has typically been used for camping rather than for caravans. So supply would go out from here to a camping pitch for somebody to plug in their extension, charge their phone, have some lights and things like that. Got a lovely thick 16 mil earth here down to an earth rod enclosure. We just make sure that that is all in good condition and nicely connected. As you'll see here, we've got a number of breakers. So this supply comes in. We've got a breaker here that supplies off to a photocell on the side here for some lighting around the perimeter. And then we've got 3 MCBs, 1 for each of the sockets down each side. And they're supplied by an RCD that feeds off to each side. We just try resetting those. This is quite an old panel. This RCD here is not resetting when we try and do that. So we give it a couple of goes because we know that over time, poor weather, things like that, the magnetic contacts in here. So a minute ago that wouldn't clear. Again, it's resetting now when we test it on the test button. We're going to test that electrically to make sure it works on an electric test. But we know that if this isn't tripping predictably, then we can't be certain of its safety in the future. So that's a really great example of one of the faults that we find on caravan parks. The RCDs don't like the cold weather, don't like the winter time. It's not been tested regularly. So then it's not guaranteed to work if there's a problem. So this RCD will go down on my report as needing to be replaced. There's going to be a C2 because it's something that needs to be done urgently, and it can give us a major issue. At the moment, we're not in the main season. It's not going to cause somebody an issue today because there's nobody using this park. So that's why I've not put it down as a C1. But if we get locked off, made sure that nobody can use it, and that RCD will come and get replaced by the maintenance team. In real terms, they're more likely to replace the enclosure because the enclosure is starting to get weathered, it's starting to get brittle, and it's not likely to be as weatherproof as it probably has been in the past. So that will be my verbal recommendations to them. But as we said before, RCD stops us getting that electric shock. These breakers on the right-hand side here and on the left-hand side here, they're the ones that stop us overloading that cable, taking more electricity than the cable can cope with and setting fire to the cable. So if we take a quick look, it's a 40 amp, 30 milliamp RCD. So that protects us against electric shock. And then each of these 16 amp sockets are protected by a 10 amp B-type circuit breaker. So that means that the socket can take 16 amps of power, but the circuit will only ever supply 10 amps worth of power. So that means that the cable will be protected and will never take more than that 10 amps that it's allowed to. So I'm going to take this apart in a moment, and then we're going to have a look inside, and then we're going to do some electric tests and fill out some paperwork. I'm Jamie Morgan. I'm an electrical engineer at ESI Electrical Safety Inspections, and I'm here with you having a look at one of our caravan park inspections today.